Hogwarts Legacy's been out for a few weeks now, and a lot of players are at the point where they're finishing collections and gathering appearances. Most of these are locked behind quests, which have you going around completing objectives for various people. Some of the trickier ones have you completing quests, which have you following maps and really just following very vague clues. But if you're able to figure these out, you'll be rewarded with not only an appearance, but a good amount of galleons. Today I'm going to walk you through 4 separate quests, each of which not only rewards you with 400 galleons, but a piece of the Thrill Seeker's attire. The quests themselves aren't overly complicated, and the hardest part is probably finding the proper location to be in. I'll be leaving timestamps, so it's a little bit easier to navigate this, especially if you're just missing 1 or 2 of the quests. If you find this guide helpful, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section what you actually think about how this outfit looks. I kinda like the outfit, but I'm not too fond of anything else. And without any further delay, our first quest, Ghost of Our Love. Acquiring this quest changes based on which house you're in. On the screen, I've listed the different quest names and locations you can find this map piece at. The quests listed are acquired during the Jackdaw portion of the main storyline. The map piece itself will be sitting in a chest or just kind of on the floor, somewhere in the location I pointed out, so just keep your eyes peeled. The map itself gives some clues as to the location and the spell you need to use. You've got a forest, a bridge, and a Lumos spell. For this one, head to the Hidden Forest Flue Flame at night. Run over to the bridge and go ahead and cast your Lumos spell. You should get 3 floating candles that should appear behind you, or in front of you depending on where you're standing. This quest is as simple as following the floating candles through the Forbidden Forest just a little bit. Do keep in mind that this is the Forbidden Forest and you may be attacked while you're here. Just go and defeat the enemies, recast Lumos, and just keep following the path along. At the end, you'll find a little picnic and a chest. Go and open the chest to get your 400 galleons and your first piece of the Thrill Seeker's attire. The next requests all take place in the southern part of the map. The first quest we'll knock out is Cursed Tomb Treasure. This quest can be started by the West Manor Cape Flue Flame. From the Flue Flame, mount up and fly a little bit northeast over the hills. Be sure to have a flame spell equipped because there will be a lot of Inferni in this area. Head inside the first building to the east, and as soon as you go in, make another right, so you're looking southeast. Head down the stairs. If for whatever reason you can't actually find the stairs, if you activate the quest and hit your little trail button on the keyboard, that's the letter V, it will actually guide you to the stairs. Now, to progress further, you'll need a level more level 3. If you don't have level 3 yet, I'll drop a link to a guide that I made that shows you all the locations for the Demiguise statues. Getting level 3 is pretty fast, and I actually show you in the video where the cutoff point is, so just run through that really quick, come back here once you have level 3 to get past this door. Clear out this first room and proceed a little further in to encounter your first of 2 infamous foes in this area. For being infamous, they're not really that difficult. I'm able to one-shot it with a Glacius Defendo combo on hard difficulty, so you should be able to take care of this pretty easily. It will summon ads that even if you one-shot her, they'll still spawn. Go ahead and knock them out. As I did note on screen, I found out that apparently Avada Kedavra doesn't work on undead enemies because apparently they're already dead. So don't do what I did. Do something else to kill them. In the next room is the Lord of the Manor, who is your next infamous foe, but apparently can be one-shot by throwing a barrel at them. Once you dispose of him, go ahead and pick the lock on the chest inside of the room and get your map piece needed for this quest. To quickly leave this dungeon, go ahead and light the brazier on the base of the statue and hop on the platform to have it rotate, take you outside. The map we just found will take us to the Tomb of Treachery. This is located in the most northwestern part of the southern part of the map, if that makes sense. It's basically found as soon as you came through the tunnel to the southern part of the map. Just mount up and then you'll find the water underneath with a waterfall. Go behind the waterfall. It's right there, you'll see it. Once aside, proceed straight. To either side, there is a room with some plants and some chests in them if you want to loot those while you're here. In the next room down, there's an empty stone coffin and then 2 doorways on the left and the right, both behind spiderwebs. The right side contains a chest and some plants. The left side is the way we want to go to progress through the quest. The next room contains a door with a 3 moth lock and some not-so-friendly spiders. Go ahead and dispatch the spiders. There's 2 rooms that contain moths, one to the left, one to the right. The right room contains 2, one which is out in the open and one behind some spiderwebs. As with all other moth puzzles, use Lumos near them to bring them to the door and deactivate Lumos to have them stick to the door. The room to the left contains the last moth. Burn through the webs to gain access to the room. In the room, go ahead and burn through the webs that are blocking the chest that you can move. Cast Wingardium Leviosa on the chest so that way you can move it in front of the wall so you can climb up to the wall and grab the last moth. Unlock the door and proceed to the final room, which has some more friends waiting for you. Be sure to use fire spells or the explosive barrels inside the room to dispose of them. In the center of the room, you'll see a 3x3 grid of stones on the floor. For this part, you use Flipendo on the stones to make it match the design in the map. All of the arrows seem to point the same way, so just see which way they're facing and then flip the correct stones. Once done correctly, the center stone will start to rise, and you can collect your prize from the chest.
Eureka! Glad to have got something after defeating Murder Theory.
The next quest we're going to focus on is Solved by the Bell, which in my opinion is one of the more unique quests. As a side note, the Rescuing a Rococo quest also takes place here and can be done at the same time, so you might as well pick that up and knock out 2 quests at the same time. Head on over to Henrietta's Hideaway and either clear out the enemies or you can skip them by approaching from the west. Inside the first room, you'll see a cube and then 2 braziers, one on the left, one on the right. Light the braziers, the right one contains a chest, the left one contains the other cube that we need. Using Wingardium Leviosa, move the other cube onto the little symbol on the floor. Each cube has a symbol on it which corresponds to a spell symbol, so just cast that spell on the correct cube, in this case Incendio on the left and Glacius on the right. The next room contains a giant statue in the middle and a bunch of enemies. Go ahead and dispose of them. Once the enemies are disposed, on the right side of the room you'll notice 3 raised platforms, 2 with a chest and 1 with a pressure plate. Collect the chest if you want and step on the pressure plate. This takes you to another room containing a floor sigil and a block. Do the same as in the previous room, move the block over and light it on fire. Once that's done, step on the pressure plate again to be taken back to the main room. Head up the stairs located in the northeast corner of this room. To proceed, you need to head south past the trap floor. How the trap floor works is if anybody or anything is moving over it, it will pull it into the wall and spit it out on the north part of this hallway. The easiest way to do this is to control a brazier and have it a little bit in front of you, so that way the floor grabs it. Once the floor grabs it, you run through. Now, if you're not quick enough, the wall will grab you and it will spit you out back on this side, but I believe there's about 4 or 5 braziers scattered around this area, so you have about 4 or 5 chances to get through. If that still fails, you might want to reload the game. I'm not sure if it resets once you leave, but you do need to get past this part. Once through the trap floor, you'll enter into another room with, you guessed it, 4 enemies. Go ahead and dispose of them. Inside the room on the left side, you'll notice 2 floor glyphs. These are used for rescuing Rococo, so if you're not interested in doing that, you can ignore these. If you're just here for the map, on the right side underneath the stairwell, there's a funky wall that looks a little bit beat up. This wall will actually open up if you approach it. On the table as soon as you enter to the left, there is your map. This map gives you a location, some music bells, and some notes. There's no quick exit that I found out of this cave, so you have to run all the way back. But while you're here, you might as well help out Rococo. Grab the block inside of this room. Carry it up the stairs and out the wall that opens for you. This block goes on the right. The second block will be just to the right of this up on the top of the balcony. You can use Accio to pull it to you and drop it at the left glyph. Cast Levioso on the left cube and Incendio on the right cube to open up the hidden door. Follow the gold into the next room, and there you'll find Rococo the Niffler. Go ahead and put him in your knapsack, and you can take him back and turn in this quest. This room also contains some money scattered around and a legendary chest. Be sure to grab it all while you're here. Now, on your way out, there is 2 more chests you can grab. These are both down a tunnel from the Hippogriff statue, which is located in the first big room where you fought off all the enemies. At the end of the tunnel, you'll find a glyph and a cube on the other side of a gate. You can use Accio to pull the cube to you and then lift it over, and then use Incendio to open up the gate, and inside there's another chest. On the way back up, or on the way down, depending on which order you do these in, there's another glyph. You use Wingardium Leviosa to lift it over the gate. This one uses Glacius on it. I actually did these in the reverse order that you probably would do, just because I'm blind and didn't see the giant opening on the gate until I was at the very bottom. So that's why I did it in reverse order. Learn from my mistakes. You may now leave this cave. Now this map can be kind of confusing to read, but basically it shows you a location, and then on the bottom it shows you a sheet of music, and on the right side it shows you which notes actually correlate to which bell. Confusing, right? Don't worry, I'll simplify it for you. For this, we're heading to Clagmar Castle. Now, there's a decent amount of enemies here normally, so go ahead and clear them all out, and then head to where I'm standing in front of these bells. While standing on this platform, you're going to use your regular attacks to hit the bells in the order that I'm pausing on screen. Go ahead and pause the video if you need more time. Once done properly, you'll get a little, not really a cinematic, but a little scene where you get a very familiar tune out of the bells. Now for this part, if you hit all the notes and it still doesn't work, you potentially hit one in the wrong order, so just take your time. There's no time limit to it. It's better to be accurate and hit the correct bells in the correct order than to hit them fast. Once the little tune is done, a chest will appear to the left side. Open it up for your galleons and the third piece of the Treasure Seeker's attire. The last quest we're going to be completing is the Hippogriff Marks the Spot. This one will appear on the map in Poidsir, and it's pretty simple to start. You just clear out a bandit camp, and the map is located on top of a table. Now, the name on the map and the actual map itself might look kind of familiar, and that's because it is. We're going back to where we just were, Henrietta's Hideout. Once here, head inside the cave into the big first room. Enemies most likely have respawn, so do as we always do and clear them out. Once all the enemies are disposed, the big old statue in the middle you'll notice has a whole bunch of braziers underneath it. Go ahead and light all of them. I put arrows on which 4 you need to extinguish with Glacius, so if it's easier to look at an image, go ahead and pause it here, or you can follow along with me as I extinguish the flames. They don't need to be done in any order, you just need to make sure that these 4 are the only ones that are actually put out. If you accidentally put out the wrong one, go ahead and light all of them again and start over. Once done properly, a piece of the wall will open up, revealing a chest. This chest again will contain 400 galleons and the final piece to the Treasure Seeker's attire. Congratulations on your new appearances and completing some of the more fun quests of this game I've found so far. I hope you found this guide useful, and I hope that you're enjoying the game as much as I am. If it helped you, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing to the channel for more game content in the future. Until next time, stay safe.